Hey, and welcome back to the Michael Cohen Show on our journey to 250,000 subscribers. I mean, we're right there at 200,000. So if you like what you hear, raw and unfiltered, hit the like button, support, and share it with a friend. So I want to talk to you about the event yesterday of Liz Cheney and Kamala Harris, the event that they did together. Now, I got to be honest with you, in my entire life, I never thought I would see a Cheney assisting a Democrat. Nor would I ever see a Democrat assisting a Cheney. It's so out of the ordinary. But I want to start with this clip of Liz Cheney saying that she will vote Democrat for the first time in her life. Play that clip.
I tell you, I have never voted for a Democrat. But this year, I am proudly casting my vote for Vice President Kamala Harris.
Yeah, thank you, Liz is right. Look, I'm going to be very clear. I've never been a fan of the Cheneys, but what she did is she put country over party. Make no mistake about that. Country over party. She will never have a seat at the table in the Republican Party ever again. Hard to imagine the daughter, right, as well as a politician herself, the daughter of a former vice president and one who was very popular within his party, will never have a seat at the table again because of what she just did there. But she doesn't care. Again, country over party, something that Donald Trump and his MAGA idiots will never, ever understand. So next, she goes on and she makes a joke about Trump. You got to hear this. This is great. Play that clip.
In other words, I was a Republican even before Donald Trump started spray tanning.
I mean, look, a little jab, sure, it's a little jab. How about some of the jabs he's taking at her? It was good for the speech. To be honest, a lot of people thought it was extremely funny. The point, of course, that she's trying to make, she's been a Republican her entire life. And what she was contrasting is the fact, and you can look this up because everybody's political record is on file. Donald has been Republican, he was then Democrat, he was independent, and then back to Republican. This guy's been everything. She has been a Republican and only a Republican her entire life. And next, during this incredible event, Kamala Harris starts talking about the oath. This is phenomenal. Play that clip.
And I have sworn an oath to uphold the Constitution 6 times in my career. Including as Vice President, as a United States Senator, and as the top law enforcement officer of the largest state in our country. Responsible for upholding and enforcing the laws of the state and the laws of the United States was the work I did. And I have never wavered in upholding that oath. And I have always executed it faithfully and without reservation. And therein lies the profound difference between Donald Trump and me. He, who violated the oath to uphold the Constitution of the United States of America. And make no mistake, he who, if given the chance, would violate it again. Donald Trump lost the 2020 election.
Yes, when I was turning around and saying, there is nobody who has less respect for the Constitution or upholding the oath of any office than Donald Trump. Make no mistake about that. And I don't say that because I am a critic. I say it because it is a reality. We have seen it. Donald Trump doesn't have respect for the rule of law. He has no respect for the Constitution. In fact, he has no respect for anyone or anything other than himself. And if you don't feel the same way, meaning that Donald Trump is not God himself reincarnate and brought down, right, from the heavens above, then you are a critic. That is not what he is supposed to be. Nobody's looking to make him a deity. Nobody's looking to make him a king, a monarch, a supreme leader, a Führer. He's running for the presidency of the United States, and there is an oath to the office that one takes, right? When they put their hand on the Bible and they swear the oath to uphold the rule of law, to uphold the Constitution. That's not Donald Trump. It's not. And nobody so far has said it better than Kamala Harris. All right. Next is another clip that took place of Kamala talking about Trump and Ukraine. This is a serious issue. Play that clip.
Last week, I met with Ukraine's President Zelensky. And the message I delivered was the same message I've shared with him every time I've seen him. I stand with Ukraine, and I always will. And I told him, as I have before, I want Ukraine to prevail. By contrast, in our debate, Donald Trump couldn't even bring himself to say he wanted Ukraine to win the war. Couldn't even bring himself to say that. A war that Putin, a brutal dictator, launched against a free and independent people.
And why doesn't Donald Trump have the capability of saying that he wants Ukraine at least to win the war? Why do we know that Donald Trump will pull all funding and all assistance to Ukraine if he becomes president? Well, first and foremost, because he said so. And the reason he has such an animus towards Zelensky and towards Ukraine is because when he asked them, through Lev Parnas, Rudy Kaludi, Drunken Giuliani, and others, to go find and dig up dirt on Hunter and Joe Biden regarding Burisma, they refused. So what did he do? He refused to release the $200+ million that Congress had appropriated for Ukraine. This is not normal stuff, my friends. He's treating the United States of America's pocketbook as if it is his own. It is not his own. And that's why we cannot allow him to get anywhere near the White House, ever again, not even as a tourist. And next you have Liz Cheney, who starts talking about Trump on January 6th, one of the ugliest days in history, where people stormed the Capitol, they attacked police officers, people died, they defecated on the floors, they wiped the defecation on the statues, they tried to hang Mike Pence, they looked to go after Nancy Pelosi, they ransacked rooms. January 6th, and who put that all on? Who was the orchestrator behind it? Yeah, Von Schitzenpants. Play this clip.
It is Donald Trump's closest aides who also told us this. They said that while the attack on our Capitol was happening, Donald Trump was handed a note informing him that a civilian had been shot at the door to the chamber of the United States House of Representatives. Donald Trump put the note down on the table in front of him, continued to watch the attack on television, and still refused to tell the mob to leave the Capitol. Donald Trump was willing to sacrifice our Capitol to allow law enforcement officers to be beaten and brutalized in his name and to violate the law and the Constitution in order to seize power for himself. I don't care if you are a Democrat or a Republican or an independent. That is depravity, and we must never become numb to it.
Never. Well said. Well said. I've been saying roughly the same thing, literally, since 2018, right? since 2020, but I called it in 2019 when I testified before the House Oversight Committee. I knew that if Donald Trump lost in 2020, that there would never be a peaceful transfer of power. Even I, who was able to 2 years in advance foresee, only because I know Donald so well, never expected it to be as bad as it actually was. I thought he would fight like we know he's going to when he loses in 2024, but I never expected that this type of reaction would be orchestrated by a president who just refuses to return power to the people and to the next person that the American people voted for. That's disgraceful. That's depravity. So lastly, there's an inspiring clip, and it's good. Every now and then we should end these things with an inspiring clip of Liz Cheney speaking about Vice President Kamala Harris. Play that clip.
I know that President Harris will be able to unite this nation. I know that she will be a president who will defend the rule of law. And I know that she will be a president who can inspire all of our children, and if I might say so, especially our little girls. To do great things. So help us right the ship of our democracy, so that history will say of us, when our time of testing came, we did our duty and we prevailed because we loved our country more.
I want you also to just think about what she's saying. Could you imagine how hard that must be for a lifelong Republican to say something like that about a Democratic candidate running for the presidency against a Republican? I don't think you can even imagine how hard that must be. But I also want to draw your attention, lastly, to the sign that was hanging over there, country over party. And listen to that message versus the type of message that they had at Trump rallies, mass deport now, right? Think about the difference, country over party versus mass deportation now. And then you'll understand the difference between Kamala Harris, positive, inclusive, patriotic, Donald Trump, devoid of empathy, divisive, mean, cruel, isolationist. And it's why I'm going to end this by saying, make sure that you're registered to vote. Vote.org. Go there right now. Make sure you're registered to vote. And make sure on November 5th, make sure that you're voting Harris Walz 2024. Hey, everyone. First of all, thanks for watching. I mean, we're going to be posting daily episodes with reactions and talking about politics. We'll be talking about everything, in fact. So please like and subscribe. Join us on this journey.